You're listening to the World's Team Podcast. It's not just America's team, Cowboys Nation. It's the world's team. Now, here are your hosts, Paul Stewart and Mike Poland.
How about them Cowboys?
Welcome back to the World's Team Podcast, powered by the Believe Network in partnership of FanDuel Sportsbook and proudly sponsored by Cowboys Experience. I am your host, Paul Stewart, and alongside me, as always, is my brother-in-arms, Mr. Mike Poland. Well, what a game that was at AT&T Stadium. The Cowboys hosted the Green Bay Packers, and Micah Parsons' much hype return to Dallas. Whether you loved it or hate it, this matchup gives us plenty to talk about. We spent the whole offseason sick of Parsons' storyline, but tonight we finally saw it play out in the field. Did he make an impact? Did the Cowboys offense prove they're still a step ahead statistically? And can the Dallas defense find its identity going forward? Let's break down everything from this game, the big moments, the good, the bad, and the FanDuel numbers, and of course, our bold takes on what it all means Dallas Cowboys. So, Mike, first thoughts on the tie of offense.
I know. I hate a tie more than I hate a loss. It's nothing worse than it was a 1:20 a.m. kickoff. So the game didn't finish until 5:30 in the morning. Had an article to write as well. And there's nothing worse than sitting there going, and everyone just shrugged shoulders at the end of it all. Offensively, you can't argue too much. Dak absolutely played out of his mind. The way Dak played, and the way he rallied that offense, and you've seen him on the sideline, getting them all together. That's the leadership, and his decision-making and his poise, his mobility, climbing the pocket, making defenders that were trying to get to him, obviously not, discounting the final play in overtime, but he was just on fire. I was sitting there, I even made a tweet, and I was like, I'm wondering how the Dak haters are going to put this on Dak. And I was just waiting for it. He was fire. He was brilliant. Defense, kind of the opposite. Every time Green Bay went on the field, me and you were speaking during the game, and we were just like, here we go.
Yeah, it just seemed like from the very get-go of that game, defensively, we were just like, it's the same again. But I will say, though, and I totally agree, Dak Prescott played a hell of a game. What a game he played. So just to kind of give you the notes in terms of that, so Dak Prescott was 31 out of 40 completions, 319 yards with 3 passing touchdowns and a rushing touchdown. And not to mention as well, let's not forget as well, he didn't have his starting center, Cooper Beebe. He didn't have his starting rookie guard and Tyler Booker. And yet our offensive line, I thought, were pretty solid for quite the majority of the game.
Yeah, there were mistakes. A couple of penalties. Yeah. But generally...
It's expected when you're going a more high-octane defense like the Packers. So
it's expected. There it is, yeah.
But in some way, though, Mike, I rather take the penalty rather than Dak getting smothered.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. You don't want him to get injured and be out for the season, so let's take the holding call there. But, like you say, the offensive line with the foundation, and at the end of the day, they were able to help the rest of the offense get to 40 points against a Green Bay Packers defense that at the time was top form.
And this is a team that struggled against the Cleveland Browns.
The offense did, yeah. And
not to mention, they held the Browns to 13 points as well.
Here's a question for you then, right? Here's a good question for you. This overtime game that you saw, is this more of a sign of the resilience of the team, or is it a sign, or is it more indicative of the fact that this team has big issues?
I think in terms of the culture, in terms of the offense, I think it's now speaking volumes. Like I think we're definitely moving in the right direction where it comes to the offensive side of the ball. Like we're getting better at our rushing, like running the ball. We're getting much better at that. We're now seeing the evolution of George Pickens in that game single-handedly, which I will add, he was 8 receptions, 134 yards with 2 touchdowns. So he had a great day against Green Bay. But when you go back to the defense, the same question still lies. Coverage, pass rush, it's just not there.
Yeah.
It really isn't. And we cannot afford, and this goes back to what you were saying back in the pregame show. It's like, for us to win the game, we need to rack up 40 plus points to win the game. And that
wasn't enough. Wasn't enough.
This game was evident about that.
Yeah.
Like, if it wasn't for our defense, let's be honest, like, we would have won that game. And you actually had the Cowboys to win, to be fair, and fair play. Like, but the majority, myself included, didn't think this was going to be the case. Like, because I still had my concerns about the defense. I wasn't worried about the offense. I was more concerned about the defense.
Yeah,
that remained true. But in some way, a tie, despite our backs against the wall, in some way, it's still a win in some way, but it's not. But what I mean by that, when you think about it, like how soccer, the English Premier League, Scottish football, any soccer leagues across Europe, like point systems, like 3 points for a win, 1 point for a tie, like it still stacks up. Even though we tied this game, it still elevates us above people that have like that extra loss record. It's still not a loss, but it's still not a win. But it can still move you up slightly.
But on the same breath, that tie, I know, speaking obvious here, at the end of the season when we're looking at playoff pushes, that tie could be
the deciding factor
that brings it down.
Yeah, who knows? But here's my thing though, mate. Like, looking back at I know we're going to be up and down across this game because we're going to try and cover all bases of all the goods, the pluses, the negatives, etc. But the one big negative, and it's nothing to do with the defense, it was actually on the Dallas Cowboys clock manager in the stadium.
Yeah.
So our good friend Brian Broaddus really put that into my attention here when he was talking to our good friend Fortune Lombardi on the Crown Medium, their podcast, and I was like, "Damn, you're absolutely right." Because basically, we literally stopped the clock at 1 second. Just let it roll out, and if the referee decides he wants to roll back, then he'll roll it back. But just let the clock run.
Mm-hmm.
So bad management from our own staff at home.
Yeah. I mean, like, yes, okay. I mean, but in the same breath, there's a lot more that went wrong than just the final second. Do you know what I mean? Of that.
Oh yeah.
I know what you're saying. That's just the final nail in the coffin on a mental.
Yeah, literally are
day.
talking like. Milliseconds away from finishing the game, because I would say it was under a second less, really, because when you really break it down, like, because that was a pass deflection to stop the clock, and it gave Green Bay that opportunity to kick that field goal to tie the game. And never in my wildest dreams I would have thought we would be like 40-37 with 1 second, like literally seconds to go. I thought, we've got this. But I'll be honest, like that last play, I genuinely thought, being in Cowboys fashion, we would have screwed it up. I genuinely thought that would have been the case. Like, the fact that we got the pass deflection, I'm happy we made that stop. But at the same time, it's like, we're giving them an opportunity to kick a field goal to tie the game in overtime.
Yeah. I mean, the reverse, you look at the other way that Dak was trying to run that ball in. I thought that was going to be it. I thought he's done it. This offense has cracked it. And lo and behold, it was the enemy behind, or it was a friendly behind enemy lines, if you want to talk about Parsons. And he's the only guy that can make that sort of play with his speed.
Well, he didn't get a sack, in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Let's be brutally honest. Like, even Dak was surprised the fact that that even get called for a sack, because it's like, but I was rushing with the ball. I was not in the pocket. It's no negative yards, so how is it a sack? By rule and definition, it should be just a tackle, not a sack. Like, I know I'm being pure petty about it, but still, those statistical things like play a factor in terms of like being nominated like your play of the year and stuff like that.
Especially
like
bonuses.
Exactly. Like, so, in fact, you know what? Let Micah Parsons take that bonus, actually, because that means it's more salary cap hell for the Packers.
There you go.
So, but on other good news, though, like, we're still seeing Javonte Williams really showing why we brought him in. Like, he's proven all of us wrong. When he first came on board, we were like, this is just going to be one of those one and done running backs. But no, he has really got back to that form that he was drafted in his rookie year.
Yeah,
and a lot of us are surprised. Like, me and you in particular, Mike. Like, we're just like, you know what? It's like, I'm liking what I'm seeing here.
During the game, I tweeted it out that I was like, of all the players, you could say Pickens, but I still think of all the players the Cowboys went out and got and gambled on in free agency, Williams has been the most important and has 100% really done the best. Yeah. That north-south runner, we haven't. I know Zeke kind of was, but he was a bit of everything.
It was
multifaceted. Yeah. But Javonte Williams is that pure like north-south runner, hits those gaps, and you just see it. Like we used to say about Zeke, where you're like, oh, he stopped at 2 yards, he gets up and it's 2nd and 5, and you're like, oh, what the? Because he always falls forward and manages to get the extra yards. Williams much the same, but he's just got this.
He keeps running the legs.
Yeah, he's just pumping.
Like whenever he makes contact with a defensive player, the legs keep on churning and churning and churning, and that's what you want when you're running backs. And that's when you get the offensive line to finally get up to the second level to assist, to force those extra yards, and that's the big difference here. And we saw that quite a lot, especially with the offensive line, like from all guys, from Hoffman to TJ Bass, like even the backups, we're seeing that quite a fair bit. They're willing to, like, once they've made their initial blocks, they're all about getting out to that second level to help see if they can actually guide Williams across those extra yards if need to be, unless it's obviously completely open field,
Yeah. And, he's got the speed. He's got the juice. We've seen it. So, good to see. Obviously, Miles Sanders was fine, apart from the injury. So, we'll wait and see on that. Apparently, Schottenheimer has said Sanders is going to play this weekend, which kind of messes up something I've written about Jaden Blue, but never mind.
The question is now, when do we see Jaden Blue?
I know, yeah. And the weird thing is like, I know this isn't a pre-game show, but talking of Jaden Blue, like next weekend's game, which is against the Jets, is a perfect game for Jaden Blue. He's just he's got the extra level that you can use on that. But Miles Sanders, for all what has been reported, has said that he's going to play this weekend. Tyler Guyton, obviously concussion, so we'll wait and see on that one. Malik Hooker is the only one where it's unlikely. And Malik Hooker actually in this game was doing some good things.
It was.
It wasn't perfect. Obviously, he's bracketed with the entire secondary that are having issues last week. Hooker was making some mistakes, but he was managing to rectify them on other plays. But it's looking likely he's going to be the only one out of last week's injuries that will not play this weekend.
And not to mention as well, I'm trying to think of all positives from this game. So you even had Trevon Diggs actually did make an interception, but unfortunately for us, we had 12 men on the field. It was wiped out, and that would have really changed the trajectory of the game if I don't know. I can't remember what player it was. It was trying to rush off to the field. I can't remember who it was. But basically, if that decision still happened while there was 11 men on the field and that interception happened,
yeah,
the game would have been ours. Like, I think in terms of the momentum. But speaking about momentum, though, Mike, another positive, Marist Leafu.
Oh yeah,
Wow,
munched it.
That hit on Matthew Golden, that was shattered throughout the whole stadium. Everyone was like, "Oh!"
You could hear the clash. Like, you did not need a microphone for that one.
No.
It was booming.
No, definitely not. And Leafu, I think he just deserves more opportunities. And seeing stuff like that's what you want from your team. That bit of urgency, regardless if you're winning or not.
Yeah,
you know,
especially from a linebacker core that's lacking juice.
Yeah, we will get into that, but I want to try and cover all the bases the positives. So.
I will give you another positive. Another positive I really liked from this game was Donovan Izaraku. Like, I know he got the sack and it was wiped off for a silly moment. It took me a moment because when I seen it, I was like, what? And then I seen, and you're like, oh, okay. I think against the Jets next week, you're going to see Izaraku take the next day, because you look at his snap count from week 1, it's all going up and up and up and up and up. They're just giving him more opportunity. With more opportunity comes more chances for a sack or more pressures, but he's definitely beginning. You're seeing a foundation there where he's beginning to find his feet.
Yeah,
I would say by the Jets game, he's going to have overtaken Sam Williams for certain. And I think Dante Fowler too.
Dante Fowler for sure.
Sam Williams is having his struggles too.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about those guys in a moment. But in terms of the other positives, like we already mentioned, Javante
Special
Williams
teams.
No, I was. You throw me off here now, dude.
Sorry. I was just going for positives.
I'm talking about positives, but you throw me off, man. Come on.
I was thinking of the first score of the game.
I was going to save that till last.
Oh, okay. We'll save that till last. I'm sorry.
Right. Let me do my thing, man.
All right, I'll let you flow. I'll chip in.
Right. Well, right. Never mind. Like you've ruined my flow. You
go on, get back in your flow. You're all right. We were just talking about the defense. Looking for positives.
No, it's actually back to the offense.
Back to the offense. Go back to the offense then. Go for it. Go on. I'm with you.
Right. Javante Williams obviously got his rushing touchdown. Jake Ferguson gets his first touchdown in how long, Mike?
I think somebody put the stat up that it was something crazy, like 160 snaps or something.
It was long overdue. Overdue. And we saw like how much he was being utilized, especially in the Chicago game. We thought there was only a matter of time where he looked as though he was back to his best form, especially even though we were terrible in that Chicago game, like overall, let's be honest. But from that game to this game, it's still a significant improvement offensively. But it was so great to see Ferguson back in that score sheet again. So I'm really happy to see that. Also, in terms of offense, we need to talk about that. I know we have criticized this player a lot, but that Jalen Tolbert catch was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was a highlight play, for sure.
All we ask now for Jalen Tolbert, please be a bit more consistent.
Yeah, do it more.
Please. like, it's like, if that's what you're able to do, why couldn't we see that before? Like, please, like, give it, like, just really help us out. But he did help us in that game massively, and that catch is definitely a highlight reel for the ages, I think.
Oh yeah, because it was inches close.
Yeah, both feet were literally like an inch away from the sideline, and his whole body was torqued outside of it and still made the catch.
Yeah,
insane.
And to make that catch and then keep hold of it, because you think you're landing awkwardly at a sort of an awkward angle whilst concentrating on your toes to make that catch. It's a big play.
What we word for thought. Remember, like those type of passes to Jalen Tolbert before, they were very similar, and they just never executed. Is this the type of thing that he's been trying to do? Like, not trying to do it, but this is the thing that that seems to be the thing for Jalen Tolbert, is that type of catch going off to the sideline, because we've seen that type of throw not in that deep in comparison, but it was more like mid range and short range to Tolbert. Like,
always on third down. That's why I find it awkward. Like, even that play was a third down play. And it never comes through. And you're just like, why are we always targeting Tolbert on third down? That's what frustrates me. And it's always like, it seems to be as if there's always a slight miscue. I mean, it happened in this game before that play. Tolbert was just way out of position. Didn't really make any sense. But he makes that play. And I will say
this. It makes up for it.
I will say this, that, yeah, the catch is ridiculous. But one thing I will say is the throw by Dak, because he's moving to the side. Then he's got to move backwards. So his momentum's carrying his body to the side, but he's had to step back to get away from pressure and make that throw. So that's all arm. There's
it's all arm, for that type of distance, and even
to put it where it was right on the money.
Well, I wouldn't say it's right on the money, because if Tolbert wasn't there, it was going out of bounds.
Oh no, no. I mean, it was on the money for where he wanted to put it for Tolbert.
Yeah, I think it was more luck more than anything, if I be honest.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm going positive, and I'm saying that was.
It is a positive, but I think I think the stars were aligned on it, and I still think Dak had a fantastic game, regardless. Because but all things considered, because that ball could have went anywhere. Like that's the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah, okay.
But going back to defense in terms of other positives, Kenny Clark, I thought he had an okay game.
Yeah, he's good. He's fine. He made a good stop.
Izaraku had a really good first couple of series. I thought, I think he solidified himself in that way.
Osa had a good game.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And obviously we can't forget about James Houston.
No, the only Cowboys to get the official sack. And was it fumble recovery?
Yeah, it was a strip sack.
Yeah, strip sack. Yeah, so want to see more of that, man. And that's the thing, we are lacking that pass rush. But if the guys are basically more bottom down and they're the ones that are making plays, giving them more opportunities, and Dante Fowler are kind of like, oh, I need to step up here.
Yeah, definitely.
Because especially I don't like to reference other coaches, but Bill Belichick was always like, if you're not performing, next man up.
Yeah,
it's the next man up. So,
and it's true.
And it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
If you're not performing, then the other guy that is, he's going to get more opportunities. Simple as that.
Yeah.
So, right, mate. So, the negatives. I'm going to start off with Jack Sanborn.
Yeah.
What in the hell? Really? I could be walking with a Zimmer frame and still make that play.
Jalen Smith vibes is what I'm getting with Jack Sanborn.
No, I think that's a bit unfair. Jalen Smith had speed.
No, yeah, but
Sanborn doesn't.
No, he doesn't have speed. But I mean, in terms of,
but Sanborn
not making plays, Jalen Smith.
I will say, as a positive for Sanborn, he knows how to wrap up and tackle when he's actually in place.
When he's in the right spot.
But in anything pursuit, I'm covering my eyes.
Mm.
It's,
and they have him on special teams.
It was the special teams play that really annoyed me.
Highlighted it all, yeah.
It really looked as though he was struggling to have any pace at all. I was like,
he wasn't moving.
Yeah, it was just slowly. It was you know what I mean? I can't quote it.
I know exactly what I mean. Because we both spotted the same thing at the same time.
But if you had Leafau in there, that would have been different.
Well, they put Shamar James in.
Yes.
And it was fine. Again, not perfect. But you got to think that's his NFL debut. And for his NFL debut, it wasn't the moment wasn't too large for him. And it was much needed speed, because you could see the Packers were flowing away from him, not to avoid him, but knowing that he's not going to catch you. He's too slow. So it's a shame because he, like you say, he is a good run stopper, but he's got to be in that right place to begin with because he doesn't have the recovery speed.
Yeah, it just frustrated the hell out of me because that seemed to be one of the main leaks, especially when it came to coverage, especially when the ball, like Romeo Dobbs, for example, like. It wasn't exactly like going for proper deep threat balls. It was like a lot of the balls were coming down the middle, and that's the frustrating part. Like, because we had like a Golden covered. Let me get the stats actually. Hold on, let me bring it up here. So let me see here. So in terms of receiving, Matthew Golden was 5 catches for 58 yards, averaging 11.6. But Romeo Dobbs 6 catches, again 58 yards for 3 touchdowns, but it's short yardage in a way. So yeah, I was not happy about it.
I mean, Bland had his moments in this game where he struggled. That was disappointing.
I didn't expect him to have a stellar game for him just to come back straight from injury. I mean, I'm going to be brutally honest. Like, I expected him to struggle. I really did.
Yeah.
So,
Bland had his struggles.
I mean, if anything, like, again, this is not positive. I thought this is probably Diggs' better games, if anything. Despite
he was fine.
It was better than last week. Put it that way.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, let me just look at the defensive stats here. So, in terms of, I know we keep talking about like Jack Sandberg, but he did lead in tackles.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, so Kenneth Murray was second with 8 tackles. Reddy Stewart with 6. Donovan Wilson with 6. Osadike Zua with 1 tackle for loss. Oh, that's right. The tackle for loss from Reddy Stewart was actually quite good. Actually,
yeah, that was a good munch. That was early in the game.
Yeah,
but then Reddy Stewart, as the game went on a little bit, you could see the struggles, the cracks beginning to appear.
Yeah, I think it's more down to like he might be like he's going beyond his reps or just just needs to build up his stamina more. But from what I've seen, when he's completely fresh, I'm liking what I'm seeing. But
early in the game,
you can tell he tires out. But I mean, yeah. But I guess the other complaints I've got, Mike, is obviously the overall pass rush.
Yeah,
really.
The overall, yeah. I agree.
And obviously zone coverage is still a concern. It's still but again, it's interlinked. If you have no pass rush, zone coverage is exposed essentially.
Yeah,
it needs to work. It needs to be yin and yang, pretty much, for in order to work.
Yeah. And I would say the only other negative was, and we mentioned it early in the show, was Micah Parsons getting to Dak on that final play.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. But yeah, but I mean, take it for all what you want. Like a game where we were expected to get absolutely wiped off the floor by Green Bay. They were coming back for a revenge game after their abysmal Green Bay Packers, Cleveland Browns game. Sorry.
Yeah.
But I think all things considering, despite the minus the defense, I think offensively, this was really impressive.
Yeah.
The problem that we have now is goes back to what you were saying last week, mate. It's like we can't just rely Dak being almost perfect every single game. If our defense is not helping us, that means we now likely have to put up 40 plus points, maybe even 50, just to even win the game.
But it turned out we needed more than 40 just to win this one.
It sounds ridiculous when you say it, but after that game against the Packers, it's quite evident that's the truth. It really is.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mike, any final takes before we finish up?
I want to know what the odds were on Marquise Bell being the Cowboys' first scorer.
Oh, yeah. That I unfortunately I don't have that statistic by FanDuel. I would like because obviously when the game is over, the odds are gone pretty much.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would have been some amount of return. Even if you put $10 on or something like that, like I cannot imagine what the odds must have been like. I mean, you're talking at least 500, back in return.
Easy.
Like
the sprinkles on that would have been insane.
Man, that's insane. But One-Way Thomas, it was One-Way Thomas that made the block though.
Yes.
Yeah. And Murky Spell just ran to the end zone. So that is a great note. Like special teams is getting better also. So Sorensen, I think he's doing a bit. And one thing I will say though, is a really good positive. I like how Sorensen is really being towards his players on that sideline. You're seeing it how he's like, if they make a foot wrong, he's right in their face. What we kind of expected Mike Zimmer to be last year as our defensive coordinator. We didn't see that, but we're seeing that from Sorensen quite a fair bit. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah. I mean, you've seen it from quite a few coaches, which is good to see. Because I think this is a team that needs it.
It's coaches taking players and making sure they've got accountability on what they've just done.
I mean, Matt even did it with Sam Williams.
Yeah, and it's something that we have lacked. Like, I mean, I get like basically the pitchforks are coming out for Eberflus right now, but the problem is I don't think we've got the right players to kind of run this system as of right now. This is why we brought in likes of Clowney to hopefully maybe kind of ease that tension a little bit, and maybe and obviously we're still waiting for Revel to be put on like out of IR and pop whatever so,
NFI.
Yeah. So and once Bland gets back more into proper game reps and stuff like that, like he'll be back up to speed, and hopefully, like as things kind of progress. I'm sorry, I'm hitting my microphone again. Like hopefully Diggs can actually kind of start to kind of like develop more, but the main issue is we need to ensure this pass rush actually gets to the quarterback. Like we cannot let the quarterback have more than 3 seconds in the pocket. All of that is just it just opens up that zone coverage all over the place. Because you're not really like, because if you're in man coverage, you would follow your guy and it would be a little much harder to track. But when you're zone coverage, you're basically staying in that area to see what the quarterback's doing. But why all the wide receivers are just kind of like, oh, I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go over here.
I've got all this space.
Yeah.
So the only other take I've got, which is it's not Cowboys related, Paul, is I just want to give a big shout out to Barry Griffiths, who's our sponsor of the show from Cowboys Experience. He tripped over in the car park on the weekend and busted up his hip. So he is in hospital. So we just want to say, keep going, Barry, and we'll be with you soon.
Yeah, just for full context. So Barry, our host of Cowboys Experience, he was at the game with hosting everyone that was at that game as part of the package deal. And as he was tidying up on the way back to the vehicle after the game, he had a wee small trip and basically injured his hip. Luckily, nothing broke per se. Like nothing needs to be. So he's under recovery, and get well soon, Barry, and we will see you in November, our friend. So yeah.
That was the only other thing I was going to throw in, mate.
Yeah, no, good shout, mate. Good shout. All right, but yes, we will be back for the pregame show against the New York Jets. Can the Cowboys really improve on our defense against? I don't know. Well, how would you rate the New York Jets defense right now? Oh, sorry, offense, sorry.
The offense, stumbly, is the best way to do it. Between the 20s, they stumble quite a bit. I mean, the Miami game that just happened, interesting. Miami come away licking his wounds with some big player loss of Tyreek Hill.
And let's not to mention about the New York Giants with neighbors. Oh, that was.
I know. Yeah.
Like. I hate to see it. Like as much as as much as he's a massive threat, like he terrorized us, but you just hate to see a player go down like that. So
I read the report on that. I don't know if you've read it. It's horrific.
Not read it.
It's basically they're saying it's gonna take more than a year to recover. He's literally shredded everything in the knee without going into graphic detail here.
Yeah, you could just see it in his reaction when he was on the ground. I was just like, oh, that's not good. Like, and you don't have to be a Cowboys fan, but you don't want to see players getting injured like that. And it was So
we got more class than Eagles fans that clap when players get injured.
We're not supposed to say that loud, Mike.
Nah, well, they did it. They did it.
That's true with Michael Irvin. That's true.
Yeah, and I watched that and it made me feel sick.
Yeah. Well, on that note, yes. On that note, yes, we will be back on Friday.
Yeah.
Yes, Friday. To do our pre-game show for Cowboys versus Jets. Be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and be sure to tune in for the pre-game show. And like as always here at the World's Team, it's not just America's team, it is the World's Team. We will see you guys on Friday, and go Cowboys.
That's a wrap on the World's Team Podcast. Smash that like button and hit subscribe, Cowboys Nation. This ain't just America's team, it's your team. Touchdown! It's the World's Team, only on Believe, where real fans live.
How about them Cowboys?